Well, I'm from Nanjing University in China, and I'm very happy to be here. This is the first time we are presenting this paper, so I'm really looking forward to your comments. Okay, today I will talk about something related to political ambition and corporate environmental performance. And my co-author is Wu Chakraborty from Tufts University and Bing Zhang from Nanjing University. So it's a growing attention to institutions and state capacity. Understanding how bureaucratic effectiveness shape environmental outcomes has become increasingly important. In many developing countries, especially in China, actually the government plays a central role in the environmental governance. But the effectiveness of the government often depends on how the bureaucrats are incentivized by the So there is an important question that's how to incentivize bureaucrats to protect the environment. I think in practice, the promotion incentives are widely used to enhance performance of bureaucrats across many areas, including the environmental protection. So understanding how promotion incentives affect environmental outcome is critical important, and that's where this paper facing. Okay, what we are trying to identify is how the promotion incentives of bureaucratic affect corporate environmental performance in China. And I want to highlight that our focus here is not on the firms that located, in a highly localized areas such as around the monitoring station, but on the firms that across broad spatial scales. So we can see from the picture, there's a map plotting all the firms in our sample, and the firms actually located across 8 provinces along the Yangtze River. We can see the blue line represents the Yangtze River, and the river flow from west to east. Maybe you are not familiar with the location of the Yangtze River, but you can see this city, Shanghai. I believe everyone knows where Shanghai is, right? So the Yangtze River flows through Shanghai before it empties into the sea. And so in this paper, we focus on all the firms along the Yangtze River, and the orange dots represent the polluting firms, and the dark blue dots represent the non-polluting firms. And the yellow area represents the 8 provinces along the Yangtze River. Okay. So what we are trying to show is the causal effect of promotion incentives on firm environmental behavior. Specifically, is the firm CO2 emission. CO2 is the chemical oxygen demand. It's a measurement for the water pollution. So if the value is higher, means that the water pollution is severe. Okay. Beyond that, we also do some simply cost-benefit analysis, and on the cost side, we estimate the effect of promotion incentives on corporate financial performance, and on the benefit side, we use housing price as a review preference tool to measure the economic value of these promotion incentives. So what's new in this paper? I think we utilize our RD design based on the age threshold implicit in China's official promotion system. I will introduce the details later. And we also use a K policy. The policy linked the water pollution control in the Yangtze River with the political promotion in 2017. I think this policy provides the exogenous variation in the promotion incentives.
Can I have a question just to help my understanding this? I don't know very much about water, but as I understand it, there can be a multimedia problem between water pollution control and air pollution control. And I believe that there were also promotion incentives linked to air pollution performance here. So I wonder if that's something else you can capture, or whether that's just not relevant for COD emissions here.
Yeah, actually, as a firm level, we also can have some data about the air pollution emission. So maybe we can also check how the political incentives affects the emission of air pollutant.
So I think that's been the Blue Sky Awards, that's been looked at. I just wonder how far it corresponds here. One could imagine it going both ways. Maybe you just clean up the firm, or maybe the chemicals you use to clean the water make the air pollution worse. So you may not even need to do the full set of analysis, given that's been looked at, but it might be useful to see how their studies, sites and thresholds and so on correspond to all of these.
Yeah, thank you. And we utilize a new data, a high quality firm outlet month level CO2 emission data in China. And I want to highlight that this data is at outlet level rather than at firm level. So maybe you have a question that what is the outlet? I think outlet is something that you through which the firm emits the wastewater. So for some firms, they may have many outlets. So actually, using this data, we can capture the the variation within the outlet across the time. So where do we place the paper? I think there are some literature to study this question. But this study found that promotion incentives may cause spatial distortion in environmental governance. In other words, the official may focus on improving environmental quality only in highly localized areas, specifically the areas that are monitored, rather than across the broader region they govern. For example, at all, this is a QGE paper. They found that the promotion incentives improve water quality upstream of the monitoring station, where measurements are taken but not the downstream. And similarly, Yang et al. They find the promotion incentive improve air quality within a certain radius of the monitoring station rather than in more distant areas. However, there is limited rigorous empirical evidence on how bureaucratic incentives affect corporate environmental performance on a broader spatial scale. So in this paper, we focus on this. Why identify the effect is challenging? I think maybe there are three reasons. The first one is the promotion ambitions is hard to observe. I think maybe you can't observe my ambition, right? And second, even if promotion incentives could be directly observed, quantify their impact still require exogenous variation in incentives. Third, in many developing countries, high quality data on firm level pollution emissions remain limited because of the absence of the monitoring network. So I think in this paper we try to solve the challenges, and we may have two contributions. The first one is we contribute to the limited literature on local bureaucratic incentives in environmental governance. And the second one is we add to the literature on value non-market goods. Just like I mentioned before, we use the real preference tool to measure the value of promotion incentives.
Sorry, here you keep referring to local, but in China, local can mean county, prefecture, or province, and which is it going to be?
You mean in China, localized means county level, right?
I mean, there's promotions at the county level, at the prefecture level, and at the province level.
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
Yeah, this paper, we focus on the leader at prefecture level.
Prefecture.
Yeah. That's it. I think.
Sorry.
I think before diving into the empirical analysis, it may be helpful to introduce the leadership structure in China. As well known, China's administrative structure consists of 5 levels, run from top to the bottom. And the first one is central government, and then it's province, then it's prefectures and counties and the township. So in this paper, we focus on prefecture level city, and every prefecture level city have 2 leaders, the party leader and mayor. And the mayor is responsible for the daily operation of the city government. And the party leader oversees the process and has the final say in most high-stake decisions. So in practice, these 2 leaders have the same official ranking, but the party leader is normally perceived to have an edge in authority. So in this paper, we focus on the party leader rather than mayor. Okay. In China, age is a critical factor influencing the promotion of officials. Since the 1980s, the Chinese government has emphasized appointment and promotion of the young leader while restricting the promotion of older officials. As we can see from this picture, there is a sharp decline in promotion probability at the 56.5-year age threshold. So let's think about that. If I were an old guy, I know that I cannot be promoted, right? So what would happen? I think if I were an old guy, the best choice for me is to relax. I don't want to work anymore, right? So I want to relax until the retirement. So for the officials,
Just out of interest, why?
yeah, that's
Not why do you want to relax, but why do you want to implement the policy with such a sharp cut off at this?
Yeah, that actually I think that's because the Chinese government prefers the younger officials. So
Sorry.
But and the choice of a discontinuous policy at that age, that was just a.
But because of you have to make the steps through the whole ladder. So, there's a natural progression. If you're going to be
At that age,
to the central level, there has to be a stop in the mid-50s, so you can be promoted in the 60s to the highest level.
thank you.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, yeah.
So when do you retire in China? So how much time do they
Actually,
have
I think at the prefecture level, leader will retire at maybe 60 years old. Yeah, and I think the retirement age for the male and female is different. For the female is 55 years old, but China has a policy to delay the retirement age. That's very terrible, right? So officials who are just above the age threshold, their promotion incentives decline sharply. And for officials who are just below the age threshold, they have strong promotion incentives as it represents their last chance for promotion. So there is a discontinuity in the promotion incentives for officials around the age cutoff. I think this map shows the distribution of water pollution in China in 2014. And 2014 is the beginning of the of our sample period. So I think the red represents the industrial water discharge, and dark red represents the severe water pollution. So we can see from the map, China's water pollution actually concentrate on the South China and the Eastern China, especially along the Yangtze River. And actually, over 40% of China's wastewater is discharged in the Yangtze River basin. So to solve this problem, the government, the central government issued the Yangtze River Protection Plan in July 2017. And this policy has 2 features. The first one is this policy links the promotion of officials to the river protection, which means that local officials' promotion depends on their environmental performance. And the second one is this policy establish strict accountability, which means that officials responsible for severe environmental harm cannot be promoted. So this policy provides exogenous variation in promotion incentives. So given such high-powered political incentives, polluting firms become the target of local government officials because their emissions are the largest contributor to the local water pollution. And I want to highlight that, actually, the young leader has the opportunity to get promoted. So I think the policy is important for the young leader because for old leader, they can't be promoted, so they don't want to work hard, right? So this policy may provide some exogenous variation for the young leader. Okay, let me introduce the data quickly. We use the official data from 19 cities along the Yangtze River for period from 2014 to 2020, and the data include leader information such as birthday, education, experience, gender, and the state and end date of their terms. And we calculate the bureaucratic age at the city month level, so the age can change across time. And this is a distribution of the age. We can say the distribution is a normal distribution. And then we use the firm outlet month level emission data. And the data is the most comprehensive high frequency environmental data in China. And like I mentioned before, it includes the water pollutant, for example, the COD. And the data also include industry information, so we can use it to identify which firm is polluting firm and which firm is non-polluting firms. We also use the corporate financial data, and this data is different from the emission data because this data is at firm year level. And in this data, the data include large scale firms with annual review exceeding, let me think, is $2.8 million. And in this data, we provide the key financial indicators such as total operating revenue and return on assets. We also collect housing price data from 8 provinces in Yangtze River Basin. And we also collect the city level socio-economic data. And in this data, we have many city characteristics such as GDP, expenditures on science and technology, education expenditures, and so on. Okay, about research design, actually we leverage the age discontinuity in promotion incentives around the age cutoff to estimate the causal effect of promotion incentives on CO2 emissions. And as I mentioned before, we calculate the age at city month level. So I think the age gap is served as the running variable. We can calculate the age gap using the age of the leader minus the 56.5. Yes. This is a standard RD estimation. I think the COD ICT is the outcome variable, and it represents the COD emission. The old ICT is an indicator variable that equals 1 if the leader's age older than 56.5 years. And the age gap is a gap to the age cutoff. H is the bandwidth, and we also control firm phase effect and month phase effect. Okay, I will show the empirical result. I think this picture is plot the log CO2 emission against the age gap, and we can see there is a jump, right? there is a sharp change in the CO2 emission at the age cutoff. So we can see from the picture, we can find that for firms in cities with older leaders, they have higher CO2 emissions than the firms in cities with young leaders, right? Okay. This table shows the baseline RD estimate, and we can say panel A shows the RD estimate without any control. So I think it introduced many noise. We can say the standard error is large and the coefficient is not significant. To solve that, we control the firm fixed effect and month fixed effect. I think by doing so, we can actually compare the difference firm by firm and month by month, and then we can average the difference across the firm and months. After do that, we find the coefficient is significant, and that means firms in cities with older leader have 2% higher CO2 emissions than firms in cities with young leader. And in panel C, we control firm by outlet fixed effect and month fixed effect. Many firms actually have many outlets, right? So in this panel, we control the outlet fixed effect to capture the variation within the outlet across time. So I think our finding hold within this restrictive specification. Okay, in this table, we conduct the RD estimation separately according to their industry. In columns 1 to 3, we focus on food industry, and in column 4 to 6, we focus on non-food industry. We can say the result is very different, right? For food industry, we can observe a significant CO2 jump, a CO2 gap, but in a non-food industry, we can't observe the similar pattern, right? So I think maybe this result can help. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I was wondering, and would it be interesting to look at substitution of production and pollution across outlets within the same firm, or looking at it across different cities?
Yeah. We can say every outlet.
Yeah, but I guess it's important because it changes the interpretation of whether they're reducing pollution or just shifting pollution across outlets.
Yes, I think emission will shift across time, right? And will shift across outlet.
I think he's saying that, take a firm, it has many outlets, and they are under different bureaucratic rule. Now look at what happens, within that firm. Whether it's just a shift of the pollution somewhere else, or whether it's a total reduction.
Thank you. I think this result maybe can help us understand something because maybe someone may concern that our CO2 gap is driven by the age-related confounding factors, but if it's driven by the age-related confounding factors, then we should also observe a CO2 gap in the non-food industry. But now we didn't. So we think this table can help us understand the mechanism. And then we also run the regression about RD regression before the policy and after the policy. We find that we can only observe the CO2 gap after the policy. Before the policy, we can't say the CO2 gap. So before the policy, we think the political institution for old guys and young guys may be similar. And then we also check some result about the financial performance. we have maybe two measures in this table. The first one is total operating revenue. The second one is ROA. ROA is return on assets. So we find the result for the polluting industry and non-polluting industry are very different. For the polluting industry, we can say the old leader, the firms in cities with older leader have a higher financial performance. They have better financial performance. I think this makes sense because because they allow more emissions, so the firms can have more production, so they can have a better financial performance. But for the non-polluting industry, we can say that for firms in city with older leaders have the bad financial performance. I think there are explanation that GDP is also important factor in China for the promotion. So maybe the young leaders, they also, okay, thank you. So the young leader may also care about the GDP. So the young leader have to enhance the GDP, so enhance the firm's financial performance. So we can say the different result between the polluting industry and non-polluting industry. And then we say the RD regression about the housing price. And in panel C, we control many fixed effects. And so from the result in panel C, we can say that for the cities with older leader, they have a lower housing price. Yeah, I think the result is consistent with our expectation because the old leader allows more emissions, so the environmental quality is bad. So the housing price can capture the environmental quality. So the housing price is lower.
I'm thinking, it's very convincing, some of the things you tell us, so, but it is a kind of a certain set of compliers we talked about here. So, the other approach in the promotion literature is to use connections to uppercase leaders. So, whether you have a connection to the province governor, party leader who is promoting, that's also effective as a tool. It would be interesting to see whether your results hold up if you use that source of identification instead. The random shifts into people like those GS papers, for example, where you use whether how connection comes on at a certain point in time and look at the response to that.
Yeah, that's a cool point. Thank you. So actually we find some housing price result, and then we use the housing price result to estimate the benefits of promotion incentives tied to the Yangtze River protection. And we found that benefits of promotion incentive is about $550 billion, which equivalent to about 2 years GDP growth in the province along the Yangtze River. And we also find that cities governed by young officials experience a 2% reduction in firm CO2 emissions compared to those governed by older officials. Okay, and next step, I think we will develop a model of bureaucratic incentives which place differential weights on economic development versus environmental protection, both based on the promotion prospects. And we will also investigate the mechanism. And we also care about the some mechanism, for example, the entry and exit of the firms in different industry. So maybe in the future, we also will focus on the some analysis to compare the large firms and small firms. Okay, thank you. That's all.